Hi, welcome back to week 3, where we will be finishing up the book, The Art and Science of Teaching. This week you will be answering questions 5, 7, 8, and 9. Again, those chapters are all grouped together because they deal with the lesson segments that are enacted on the spot. What do you do to engage students? How do you recognize students that are following the rules or not following the rules? How do you establish and maintain effective relationships with students? And how do you communicate high expectations for all your students? Again, after you have finished reading the chapters, contact your partner, see if you agree on what some of the key elements in each of the chapters are, and complete your non-linguistic representation and be ready to share it with our next WIMBA session. Also, you notice that this slide states that you will be reading Chapter 10. Chapter 10, as I stated way at the beginning in week 1, is in the next domain that Marizano talks about, and that's planning and preparing a unit or a lesson of study. My hope is that in the future you take the time to develop a whole unit or a whole course of study using the elements that you have learned. But for the purposes of this class, what I do want you to do with Chapter 10 is to do a reflection again and read through the action steps that Marizano gives you for planning a unit and analyze what current set of skills you have or need to improve in. Identify where you're strong and identify an area that is weak. Then talk to me about, in a little reflective paper, what you're going to be doing to improve the area where you find yourself a little weak. Again, be specific and make this assignment relevant by thinking about a unit that you have planned that you would like to improve the next time you teach it. While this slide is labeled Other Tasks for Week 3, it's really a continuation of what we were talking about on the previous slide, completing the work for chapters 5, 7, 8, and 9. As you remember with our first set of design questions, 1 and 6 and 2, 3, and 4, that we had a chance to discuss over WIMBA, and we narrowed down everyone's elements to just some major components. I sort of wanted to tell you the number of components that Marizano found under each of the chapters, just as a guide. If you listen to this slide and you want to double check your list of elements that you and your partner came up with and clear them with me, feel free to send me an email of your list, and then I can tell you how Marizano arranged those elements if you want to add those onto your representation model. Chapter 5, he included about 9 elements, and Chapter 7, 8, and 9, he condensed all that information into 3 major elements under each of the design questions. The total for all the chapters we have read then should total up to 41 elements that we need to think about as we're looking at what instructional strategies to use as we plan and as we conduct our lessons with our students. So once again, please email me if you would like to review your results, because we do not have a WIMBA session scheduled before you do your final presentation. With your partner also, decide whether you would like to present in week 4 or week 5. We will have to split the group up, so those of you that email me first will get the first slots in week 4, and then we'll fill in with week 5, unless you have a specific request, and I'll be happy to take that request, but I need to be able to split the group into 2 weeks of presentations. You can do that via email, and I will notify you then which week you are going to present. As you plan your presentations for your class, make sure that both partners have an active role in the presentation, however that's going to be done. Again, remember, it's difficult to put something up on WIMBA, so if you can send us an attachment prior to the WIMBA session of what your model looks like, it'll probably make it easier for you when you go to explain your model when we are together on our WIMBA session.